Hey guys, another new video. They're coming thick and fast at the moment. Hey, I said I would try and keep up with doing a little bit more, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. I hope you've been liking it. What are we doing today? We got a product review, specifically of the Sigma 18-35, and a little bit more so than just a regular product review. We're talking about what's it like for shooting sports. Is the Sigma 18-35 f1.8 a suitable sports lens? Somebody asked me. I thought I would answer that by doing this video right here. I hope you guys find it interesting. Let's get into it. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the videos. It's great that they're going down well, lots of interaction, comments, really enjoying it. If you haven't already, please do make sure you subscribe. Hit that bottom down the button there. If you are already subscribed, thank you very much. Please hit that thumbs up button. Also, hit the little notification, the bell next to the subscribe button. It means you guys get a heads up every time I post a new video. Last bit of plugging, if you guys don't already, please follow me on my other social media channels. Check out Twitter, I'm at Rob Sambles Photo. Check out my Instagram, I'm at Rob Sambles Photo there as well. I hope to see you there, guys. Enjoy the video. Okay, guys, so the review of the Sigma 18-35mm f1.8. Now, I was asked by one of my followers, or someone who emailed me, I assume you're a follower, about doing a video that was a review for the Sigma 18-35 and what it's like for sports photography. And really, that's what inspired this video. So anyone who follows along with my channel, you will know that I use this lens quite a lot. I use this for basketball. I will sometimes use this for football, not too much, but sometimes I do. And I think it's a really great lens. It's one of my go-to lenses. It's a lens I use all the time. Now, I suppose we should start by just saying, is this like a standard go-to sports photography lens? No. Will you find a lot of sports photographers using this lens? Probably no. So I suppose the first question to answer to do this video is, why did I buy it? Okay, so I was out in the market for a wider angle lens, and I wanted something fast. I wanted something that could be used for sports. So for me, fast really is f2.8 at least. But I was after something specifically for basketball, and especially where I sit a lot when I photograph basketballs on the baseline. That requires something a little bit wider. And obviously this lens is 18mm, which gives me a wider lens as well. Now I normally will combine this with a prime, a 50mm prime normally, or maybe my other zoom lens, my other main photography lens for basketball is my 70-200mm f2.8. So I wanted something wider, that when I'm sitting on the baseline, I can do some wider angle shots. In fact, I'll tell you what, I will include a couple of examples of the wider angle baseline shots I'm talking about that I took with this lens right here. Okay, so I wanted something that could get those kinds of shots, something a little bit wider I could use on the baseline. Now, a couple of common go-to sports photography lenses would be the Canon 16-35 f2.8. Another popular one would be the Canon 24-70 f2.8. I looked at both of those lenses. But one thing I had to consider, especially for me in my current budget, is that those lenses are very, very expensive. I will put up the exact prices of those lenses on the screen right now, down here, because I actually don't know exactly what they are off the top of my head. But what I do know is they are a good couple of £100 at least more than this lens. And I'll tell you what, I'll research and I'll find out the latest price of this lens right now as well, which I will also put right here. So the price factor, guys, big thing for me, and that's one of the reasons I looked at this. I also, ideally, I wanted something faster than f2.8, and this is f1.8. Now that gives me a great advantage with basketball, because I can shoot right down to, I don't normally go to f1.8, but I would sometimes go to, well, rarely go to 2, but definitely 2.5, quite a lot, just to give me that slight little bit of advantage, meaning I can get a faster shutter speed. I like to keep at least 800th of a second for basketball as a minimum. I don't want my ISO levels going too high, and being able to shoot at 2.5 means I can keep those in some of the venues I shoot at around, if I'm lucky, even 2,500, but kind of 4,000-5,000, as opposed to having to push to the 8,000 to 10,000 levels that I probably would need to with a 2.8 in some of the venues I shoot. I shoot with two Canon 7D Mark IIs, as a lot of you guys know. Those are fine at 8,000. There'll be people who tell you otherwise, but I genuinely believe they're fine at 8,000 ISO, 10,000 ISO. I wouldn't want to shoot at that all the time, though. Really, I wouldn't want to shoot at that higher ISO level on every camera. The 1DX, something like that, would probably be fine with it, but I try to avoid that if I possibly can. So the f1.8, big factor for me with this, along with the price. Another reason I bought it, I wanted something that was good as an everyday lens. And I don't just shoot sports, I like to shoot stuff, I shoot stuff in my own time. And of course I'm shooting with a crop factor camera. So an 18-35mm in full frame world, I suppose, probably gives me something that's not that dissimilar from the 24-70. And I wanted something that was good for an all day walk around lens. Something which I could use generally, something I could take on trips with me when I go away. I can carry it. It's not too massive, it's not too cumbersome, although it is a little heavy. I'll get onto that in a bit. Something which I could use all the time. So that's probably my third factor for why did I buy this lens. Okay guys, let's have a look at the actual lens itself. So here it is, the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. First thing to say about it is really well built. You feel it in your hand, it is really well built. It feels solid. It has a metal body, as well as the plastic bits. Like this is kind of a sort of a rubbery texture. Obviously the hood is plastic, the caps and everything are plastic, but generally speaking it feels really well built. The lid I think is quite cool. The cap, sorry, has like a little clipper thing, as a lot of the Sigma lenses do. That even feels really well built. And the actual lens itself, really well built generally. The hood, if I'm going to need two hands for this, so the hood, when you unscrew it, comes straight off. The lens looks really nice. Slightly dusty here. I need to just brush this off slightly. In fact, no, the actual lens itself, I don't mean inside, guys, by the way, I just mean me where I've been using it. But really well built lens, really nice. The pros to the build is it is a little heavy, guys. This is a heavy lens compared to something like, you know, I would say it's not quite as heavy as my 70-200, but it's probably not that far off that. And bearing in mind this is a bit smaller than that, it is quite a heavy lens. There's a friend of mine who uses the Sigma art lens, the 24-35. He shoots full frame, and I know he said that one's heavy as well. So they are quite heavy lenses, these Sigma art lenses, but lovely build, lovely. So performance, guys, what's it like for shooting sports? The things I like about this lens, and in fact I suppose this is generally for shooting anything really, but it's sharp. It really is sharp. Now I've had a slight play with it because I'm a bit obsessive with getting them just right, and so I have done some kind of micro fine tuning with it with the camera, with both my 7Ds, but really straight out the box it was sharp, to be honest with you. Sharp lens, focus is really quick. Yeah, great focus. I can't complain at all. Real sharp, nice lens. I love the colours it produces. To be honest, all of my lenses are fine with that really. They all work very well with my 7D Mark II. This works really well with the crop body. Like I said, it kind of gives you a real nice focal length, which I like. Specifically sports, what's it like for sports is great. I use this on the baseline for basketball all the time. This is also my go-to lens, which I will have this lens on me pre-game. So for all of my, you know, player introductions, warm-ups, you know, players chatting to each other before the game, player introductions, cheerleaders, all that kind of stuff, crowd shots, everything this is perfect for. I can go real wide if I need to, I can get in a bit closer. Sometimes I need to go wide, then I will want to be out at about 10 mils, then I'll use my Canon 10-22. But that's only really going to be when I'm shooting real wide. So I'll use that for some remotes sometimes, like around the basket unit itself, or maybe as a floor remote I might need to be at 10mm. But generally speaking, I find 18mm wide enough. And 35mm is close enough for me to be able to get in a bit if I want to play warming up, lay up, doing a shot, something like that. I might need to crop slightly sometimes if I get caught with something that's a bit further away, but hey, look, that is what it is. Cropping is fine, guys. You will crop in sports photography generally quite a lot. I also use this post-game, so as the game is winding down, I will make sure I've got this on one of my bodies, because this is the thing I will be using for my celebration shots. If I need to rush in close, like if there's a big celebration, I've got to get in there quick to where the court action is, I will use this. I will have this on because of 18mm. I can even be fairly close to people, but the 18 gives you that little bit of separation. It makes it look like you're slightly further away. You can achieve that more at 10mm, even more so with a fisheye lens, but I can get enough of that at 18mm generally with the stuff I'm shooting. Football, when would I use this in football? Sometimes I do. Now, it depends really on where I am and also what type of football I'm shooting. If I'm shooting just a normal football game, I would generally be going with a combination where I have my 70-200 and my 300mm. But sometimes, especially if I'm there to shoot one team, as I quite often am with my work with Fulham, or I'm doing some work with Burton at the moment as well, I will want something slightly wider. The reason being is I'm gambling a little bit. I'll be sitting in locations where quite often the celebrations run to, and when that happens, I want to have a wide angle option. So sometimes I will shoot the game with my 70-200 and my wide angle lens, and that might be when I'm sitting kind of nearer the goal, or maybe when I'm sitting on the sideline nearer the benches and I want to get some photos of the manager, stuff like that. I need to be a little bit wider. And also when frankly I'm gambling a little bit, as you quite often have to do with positioning in sports photography, if I want a celebration to come towards me, I'll have the wide angle option ready. Hopefully it comes straight at me, right down my camera lens, and I can get that nice wide angle shot. So I suppose in summary, guys, is this lens good for sports photography? In my opinion, absolutely yes. I chose this lens ahead of the Canon 16-35, ahead of the Canon 24-70. Are those lenses better than this? Look, probably they might be a little bit. There are people out there who will tell you they are all day, every day. But you know what? I chose this because it was the right lens for me. It was the right lens for the type of sports photography I do. It was the right lens for me based on my budget. It's not a cheap lens, as you saw earlier, but it fit my budget a lot better than, let's say, the brand new 16-35mm f2.8 from Canon. It's a suitable size and weight for me. It's not the lightest lens in the world. It's heavier than my 10-20, for example, but hey, look, that is what it is. It's a great lens. I use it all the time. I use it every single basketball match I shoot. If you guys shoot any kind of indoor sports, basketball, volleyball, got loads of other sports I've shot with this as well. Table tennis I've shot with this, wrestling, some MMA bits, loads of different stuff where it's a bit closer in and you're indoors and you benefit from the f1.8. Great lens for sports. So my humble opinion, absolutely it's right for sports. But please let me know what you think, guys. If you guys have used this lens, comment, let me know. If you guys have got a lens that you think is better than this for sports, comment and let me know that as well, hey? Because I'm always out on the lookout for what my next lens is going to be, and I want to know what a good choice is for sports. So guys, I hope that was good. I hope it was interesting. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.